What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about 5 Christian girl health tips that are really going to help you boost and elevate your life. I'll bring it up before anyone else does. Yes, my tan is like so splotchy. This was like one of my first times doing like a self tanner, and I'll link the one that I use down below. It's absolutely great, and this has been the most long-lasting self tanner ever. I mean, I feel like I look really golden, but it's definitely been a challenge, so we'll just get in front of it before anyone else does. In the last year, I really have elevated my life when it comes to my physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health as a Christian woman. And I feel that a lot of Christian women don't talk about this as much. I usually have to follow people who are really invested into fitness in order to be able to elevate my life. So I'm here as your big sister to show you guys basically how I made these changes successfully. Coming in at number 1, we have what I like to call biblical battle cards. These are cards that I write down Bible verses, biblical affirmations, or things that are Bible based that I like to remember throughout my day. Our grass guy is here, so that's very timely. We're just waiting until this passes. Okay, anyway, as someone who used to really struggle with depression and anxiety, having these by my side, by my nightstand, in my office, in the car with me, have been so helpful because I remember the Lord's promises and I remember just what he says in his word and how glorious that truly is. Start by taking a sticky note or a note card and just writing down a verse that really speaks to you, that brings you peace, or a verse that you feel like the Lord is highlighting to you during your quiet time, and write that down and take that note with you throughout your day, whether that's in your car, in your purse, at work, whatever it is. Carry this thing around you and just meditate on it. Read it when you have time. Read it every time you look at it. I promise you it makes such a difference when you speak scripture over your own life. I love it. It's great, and I hope you do too. And I obviously have so many because I cannot get enough of it, but these are like everything to me. The second thing I did was making all of my meals very high protein. So I post a lot about my nutrition and things that I know when it comes to meal prep on my Instagram at Bianca Sofia. So if you are looking for a lot of meal ideas and things of that nature, go ahead and give me a follow. I will not disappoint. But let's talk about why that's actually important, because it can be said, but rarely is it ever explained. So let me get into it. Early 2023, I started lifting, and I was not lifting heavily. I think the most I would lift is like 5 pounds, and right now I'm lifting about 50. So it's still not a lot, but it's definitely not where I used to be, and I'm very proud of that. When you lift, when you do any sort of physical exercise, whether that is cardio, HIIT, lifts, that can be walking, running, strength training, whatever it is, if you want to see gains, if you want to see weight loss and progress and fat melt off of your body, you need to be eating high protein diets. It doesn't matter if you're eating all these kales and super greens and foods and whatever else. If you're not eating high protein, you're basically wasting all of the physical work that you're doing. I'm going to put a list of some of my favorite high protein foods that I use on a daily. These are foods that are major staples in my meals and help keep me full for such a long time. In order to function, your body needs high protein meals. In order to build muscle and to lose fat, your body needs high protein, typically between 30 to 50 grams of protein per meal. These two things right here are my absolute staples. This is non-fat plain vanilla Greek yogurt, and this is cottage cheese. I literally love these things so much, you don't understand. If I want something sweet, say like ice cream or whatever else, I will make what I call protein ice cream, and I'll put a picture of what that looks like here. Protein ice cream is Greek yogurt, whey protein, or isolate, frozen berries. I'll also put raw honey and sometimes granola if I want some crunch, and I freeze it for about 20 minutes, and it literally tastes just like ice cream. Of course, I eat intuitively, so when I do want ice cream, I do let myself have that, but for the most part, when I am trying to stay on track, especially throughout the week, this is my go-to. I love having this with like sausages or turkey sausage, bacon, steak, and then just having that with like eggs or yogurt. When I make eggs, I also love to put cottage cheese in it, and I swear, if you have not put cottage cheese in your eggs while you're just cooking them on the stove, do it. You will never go back. I love this thing so much. It's important that you look at foods and look at their protein to calorie ratio, because a lot of foods can have a great amount of protein in it, but it's skyrocketing in calories. So you want to make sure that if you're eating something, that it has a good ratio. Other staples are like protein shakes. I love steak. I love salmon. I love chicken. So I typically pretend or try to get all of my protein from like Whole Foods, but sometimes that's not always realistic. So that is when like protein shakes and and supplements will really come in handy. Here's a photo I found of myself like 1 year ago, and I might not look different to you, but I feel like for me, as someone who literally lives in my body, I do look very different. I was not lifting at the time. I was maybe doing like 10 to 20 minutes of moderate exercise that did not include strength training at the time, and I did not have the best diet. You can see that I literally had no shape, and I feel like I just didn't really even have a will to live. Like, that was a very sad time of my life. You see why protein is very important. If you want to make gains and progress in your body, you really need a high protein diet and eating whole foods. What I like to use is the 80 to 20 method. 80% of the time, you're eating very healthy, you're eating your whole foods, and you're getting your high protein intake in. And 20% of the time, you're eating the foods that you want, that you like, and that your body craves. That's also called eating intuitively. So you're not really restricting yourself or going on any like fad diets or no sugar or no keto diets. But for the most part, I mean, it's pretty, it takes a lot of discipline to be able to stay on track, and that's a really good thing. If you're looking for more meal ideas, go ahead and give me a follow on my Instagram. I will not let you down. I also really like to be friends, so I'm just saying. Tip number 3 is to drink enough water throughout your day. So I've heard the myth that you have to drink like however many ounces per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you would drink 200 ounces of water. That to me is a lot, and I'm definitely still working up to that concept, but I do try to drink at least like maybe 80 ounces a day, which is nearly not enough, but I like this cup that I have. This is the Simple Modern cup from Amazon, and this is a 40-ounce one. She's taken a few tumbles, like she has a dent right there, but like she is still going very strong, and I got her in almond birch. Now, I naturally love water. I like plain water, and I will drink that until the day I die, but I know how that can get boring sometimes, so this is where I really recommend adding electrolytes into your water. These are the Type 0 electrolytes that I'm going to link down on Amazon. These are not sponsored. I genuinely love these so much because they make my water so good and very tasteful, and I always forget I'm drinking water. I add 1 packet into my water per day, and I usually drink this the first thing in the morning. So even right before my coffee, which is sometimes very hard because I'm a loyal coffee drinker till the day I die, but I also know the importance in drinking electrolytes and water and salt before coffee. I say this all the time, before your morning coffee, you want to drink your electrolytes and your water first. I'll cut this open, I'll put all of this in my water, and then I'll like shake it around, and then that is what I will drink first thing. Then once I've drinking enough, I will then drink my coffee. While electrolytes are not necessary, just water is not going to be effective because your body is literally a life source. You need to maintain it because it's a machine. And so electrolytes are really going to help the hydration stay in your body versus just plain water. If you don't typically enjoy electrolytes, that is totally fine. I've heard people use Himalayan sea salt or regular raw real salt, and I'll also link salt products that I find on Amazon as well. But these electrolytes have literally been a godsend because they make my water not so plain, and I actually enjoy drinking it. The next tip I have for y'all is to walk daily, preferably between 45 to 60 minutes a day. So I have my trusty like fitness tracker, and I absolutely love this thing so much. I got her on Amazon, and she will track everything for me, and I love it. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm seeing, but she will track my steps, my walks, my bike workouts, anything active that I do, she will track, and I love it. I typically aim to walk between 9,000 and 10,000 steps a day, but on days where I'm inside or that's just not possible, I usually give myself a lot of grace, but for the most part, that is my walking target goal. In case you didn't know this, walking is like the #1 fat loss exercise. Like, it's not running, it's not sprints. Can those things definitely help? Of course, but walking is going to be way more effective. I've been walking consistently for about a year, and I can tell you that I have seen fat melt off of my body. I feel like my body has definitely more of a shape, and when people ask me what I've done to lean out, my #1 answer is to walk. To intensify my walks, I usually add like a weighted vest or weighted wristbands or ankle weights, and that really gets such a sweat out of me. But I live in Florida, so like everything is flat, but normally I just get it done, and it's absolutely great. Tip number 4 is to follow inspiring people. I love following people who are fitness focused, who really have that going on for them, and who also drop like a lot of knowledge and truth wisdom bombs. I like following Dr. James DiNicolantonio. He is absolutely amazing and drops truth after truth in every single post. He posts amazing information just like this, and he has taught me so much about nutrition, more than I could have taught myself. And lastly, tip number 5 is to invite the Lord into your health journey. I know that it can be very difficult to either lose weight or lose fat on your own, and how challenging that can be. And so when you invite the Lord into everything, it makes it so much easier. It can be little things like just deciding what to eat, deciding what workouts to do, and what works for for you. The biggest thing for me is doing what works for Bianca and not what works for Emma or Sarah, but me. And so inviting the Lord into that has convicted me when I try to do things my own way instead doing them his way. That is this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that y'all just kind of got the truth and wisdom bombs that I just dropped, because these are things that I wish I knew probably 2-3 years ago that I'm now sharing with you as of today. Thank y'all so much, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye guys.